Good morning to all the Namibian learners out there. My name is Ngamendunge Namwandi, and I'll be your English teacher for today. In my class, I have Chanel. Chanel, good morning. I hope that you're ready for today's lesson. But before we do that, we are going to take our hand sanitizer. We are going to sanitize our hands. In and out, in between your fingers. Okay? After that, Chanel, we are going to straighten our arms just to see if there is a social distance. Okay, so today's lesson will be about common nouns and proper nouns. But before we do that, I quickly just want to explain what a noun is. Right. Chanel, what is a noun? A noun is a naming word. It is what it is today because it was given a name. Right. Now, let us turn on page 3. Chanel, turn on page 3. Well, we are going to look at common nouns. What is a common noun? Chanel, do you know what a common noun is? Okay, a common noun is a name that we give to ordinary objects. Right, now, I want you to look around wherever you are seated. I want you to look around and please mention all the names of things that you can see. I'm sure you're going to mention on the board. Look on the board. You are going to mention a pen, a book, a TV, a table, and a man. Now, you have mentioned these things because you are working with them. Right, now I want you to look in your book again on page 3. In your book on page 3, you can see that we are given some few examples of common nouns. Chanel, can you see them? Okay, we have man, we have mountain, we have region, we have country, mouse, city, day, movie, newspaper, language. Now, those are the few examples of the common nouns that we have. Now, remember, we do not start a common noun with a capital letter unless it starts a sentence. Okay, I want you to look on page 4. On page 4, there is an activity that you're going to do. Okay, I am not going to go through it. We are going to move on to page 5. Now, on page 5, we are going to see, or we are going to look at the proper nouns. Now, Chanel, what is a proper noun? A proper noun, these are names or specific names given to specific people, places, days of the week, and months of the year. I want you to look on the chalkboard. Now, on the chalkboard, you can see that I have written different names, okay? Now, remember that proper nouns are always written in capital letter. You must always capitalize the names of people, the names of places, the names of the week. You must always capitalize them. Now, on the chalkboard, you can see that I have written few examples of the proper nouns. I have Nependa, and Nependa is a name of a person. And you can see that Nependa is written with a capital letter. Can you see that? Yes, I hope you can see that. Alright, we also have Windhoek. Windhoek is also a name of a place, and it's written with a capital letter. We have Saturday. Chanel, can you see that? Can you see Saturday? Can you see that Saturday is written with the capital letters? Yes, she can see that. All right. We also have the name of the shop. I'm sure everybody knows this name, ShopRite. You can also see that it's written with the capital letter. Chanel, can you see commas? In which region are we? We are in Commerce region. So it must be written with the capital letter. Mickey Mouse. We all love Mickey Mouse. Now, this is a name of a mouse, so it must be written with a capital letter. Chanel, do you understand that one? Do you have any question? I'm going to leave you with an activity to do. Now, in your booklet on page 4, you are going to do activity 1 on common nouns. Let us move on to page 5. On page 5, you are going to do an activity on proper nouns. So that means you are going to do activity 2. Moving on to page 6. I want you to do activity 3 on page 6. On page 7, you have your memorandum for activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3. I hope that you have paid attention and that you are going to do your work. And please remember, don't cheat. Do not cheat. Now, we are going to take our hand sanitizer and sanitize our hands for the last time. Chanel, are you with me? Okay, in and out between your fingers. Okay, and please remember to keep the social distance. Zoshi, where are you? Okay, have a wonderful day and goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye!
Good morning to all the Namibian learners out there. I'm back again. My name is Ngamendunge Namwandi, and I'll be your English teacher for today. In my class, I have Chanel. Chanel, good morning and welcome back. I hope that you're ready for today's lesson. But before we do that, we are going to take our hand sanitizer, sanitize our hands. In and out, in between our fingers, straighten our arms just to see if we are practicing the social distance. Today's topic will be about abstract nouns and collective nouns. So I want you to look on the board. Shanae, look on the board. How does this dog feel? Well, as you can see, the dog is carrying the heart. So this dog feels love. Right. So today's lesson, we are going to talk about abstract noun. What is an abstract noun, Chanel? An abstract noun is something that we cannot see, touch. It is often a feeling or an emotion. What did I just say? I said an abstract noun, it is something that we cannot see, touch. It is often a feeling or an emotion. Now, in your book, Chanel, on page 16, we are going to look at the few examples of abstract nouns. Right. Now, the few examples of abstract nouns are anger, shock, sorrow, upset, pleasure, fear. Chanel, do you have some examples? I guess those are the few examples that we have for abstract nouns. Do you have any questions, Chanel? Okay, no questions. We are going to move on to collective nouns. Chanel, what is a collective noun? A collective noun is a name we give to a group of people, a name we give to a group of animals, and a name we give to a group of objects. Now, we are going to look on our page, on page 16. You can see there are examples of collective nouns. Now, instead of saying the kitten and the kitten and the kitten and the kitten, we say a litter of kittens. Chanel, do you have few examples of collective nouns? Well, I have few examples of collective nouns. For example, a flight of stairs, a school of fish, a pride of lions. Let us look on our page 16 on the few examples of collective nouns. As you can see, it's written there. Here are some examples of collective nouns. I've already mentioned some, so you can see a forest of trees, a litter of puppies, a herd of cattle, a bench of dough, a group of people. So those are the few examples of collective nouns. Chanel, do you have any question? No question. We have learnt about abstract nouns and collective nouns. Chanel, can you still remember what an abstract noun and the collective noun is? Yes, she can still remember what an abstract noun is and a collective noun. Before we finish with our lesson for today, I am going to leave you with an activity to do. On page 17, we are going to do activity 1 on abstract noun. Moving on to page 18. On page 18, we are going to do activity 2 on collective nouns. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to match the collective nouns to the phrases that should follow. Moving on to page 19, we are going to do activity 3. On activity 3, you are going to find the collective nouns in the sentences and underline them. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to find the collective nouns in the sentences and underline them. Moving on to activity 4. Activity 4 is abstract nouns. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to underline all the abstract nouns in the following sentence. On page 20, you'll have your memorandum for the activity I have given you. And on page 21, you'll have the last memorandum for the activity I have given you. I hope that you have listened attentively and that you are going to do your work. And please remember to always wash your hands. Chanel, we are going to take our hand sanitizer, sanitize our hands, rub them in and out, in between our fingers. There we go. Well, thank you, Chanel. Zoshi, where are you? There comes Zoshi. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, we are from the Giraffe Conservation Foundation. Our team protects and supports the safety of giraffe in 15 African countries. Together, we are going to share and explore lots of interesting environmental facts with you. I'm Audi.
I'm Naomi. And this is Martha. Welcome to episode 6 of Environmental Learning with the Giraffe Conservation Foundation.
Today we are going to be dealing with a very, very big issue, and this issue is called waste. So what is waste? Waste is all the unwanted objects or materials that have been thrown away by people. And this includes things like empty plastic, glass, aluminium, metal containers, batteries, food waste from the kitchen, and the list can go on and on.
Imagine this. There are 7.7 billion people in the world today. If everyone on Earth joined hands to form a human chain, it would be about 7 million kilometers long and would stretch to the moon and back 9 times. Every year we generate about 2.12 billion tons of waste. If this ton was to be loaded into trucks, they would go around the world 24 times.
People living in urban areas produce about 2.7 kilograms of waste every single day per person. However, those living in rural areas only produce about 0.6 kilograms of waste per person daily.
Now let us explore the reasons why waste is such a big issue. Waste is a global problem and it needs to be tackled. As the human population increases all over the world, so does the amount of waste that we produce every day.
A lot of waste that we produce gets buried into landfills throughout the world. If landfills are not managed properly, they can be dangerous. For example, a lot of electronic equipment such as televisions, computers, cell phones and radios are poisonous. They need to be separated and handled in the proper way. These substances then leak into the soil and water around the landfills, which is very dangerous for the health of the people, animals and plants.
We also produce waste by littering. But what is littering? Littering is when we do not dispose of our waste properly. For example, when we throw empty bottles out of the car windows while traveling.
Litter is dangerous to life. Litter can harm animals. Animals can choke on plastic. They can get tangled in fishing lines or get stuck in containers.
Litter can also harm people. For example, you could easily catch your foot on an old rustic can when playing barefooted outside on a hot summer afternoon. Litter also pollutes environments including oceans, lakes, and rivers. Do you want to live in an area that looks like this?
With so many people living in the world today, waste management has become an even more difficult job for all cities and communities. All waste needs to be always disposed of safely to keep people and animals safe. So I guess then the big question is, what can we do to manage waste? The best way to manage waste is by avoiding it as much as you can. You can do this by sticking to the 4 R's, which are refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Now let's go through the 4 R's in more detail. To refuse is the best way to reduce waste. To refuse means if something is not necessary, you do not take it. For example, say no to plastic bag when you go shopping. You can take your bag or a basket. Do not use straws to drink your cool drink. But if you really want to use a straw, remember there are many other reusable options.
To reduce means to lessen or reduce the amount of waste that you produce. For example, buying bigger packages instead of lots of smaller ones. So if you have an option of buying loose potatoes, tomatoes, onions, or apples, do this instead of buying those ones that are in plastic packages.
To reuse means to use something more than just once. For example, you could use a juice bottle as a water bottle instead of throwing it away after only using it once. And to recycle means to change something into something that can be used again. For example, turning your old newspapers into fireballs to light the fire.
Now that we have explored the 4 R's to help you generate less waste, here are a few tips and ideas to help you even more. When you need to throw something away at home or at your friend's place or at work, please make use of a rubbish bin.
When you are out and about and there are no rubbish bins near you, put your waste in your pocket or your bag and throw it away later when you find a proper dustbin.
Whenever you are traveling, please carry a rubbish bag in your car and never throw stuff out of the car window.
If you have a recycling company in your surroundings, please you must be responsible and participate with it.
And most importantly, participate in cleanup campaigns. And remember, every action counts because our world counts.
We have come to the end of our time together today, but before we say goodbye, we would like to give you one action that you can do by yourself with your family and friends.
Goodbye, everyone.
And remember to say no to plastic bags.
BBC's Smart Money program presents an exciting new technology segment dubbed Smart Tech.
Ghana have a problem of unemployment, also the problem of housing and schools under trees. Now Plus wants to use the problem of plastic waste to solve the problem of schools under trees, housing, and create more jobs for the youth in the country.
Bonjour. Hello, I am Sao Doniang, director of the Palms Luxury Boutique Hotel in Dakar.
J'ai commencé.
I started by cleaning a toilet. Today, I am the manager of my own 5-star hotel boutique with 60 employees.
Étoile.
To give more people access to these life-saving vaccines, South Africa and India have proposed a waiver of COVID-19 patents, and the move seems to be gathering momentum after receiving the backing of the United States. But even if the patent waiver is indeed granted, can Africa manufacture these vaccines at scale?
song goes. Ba-dum, ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Benjamin Rosloff expresses himself with music, but when he's not playing the cello, he's making films.
My father bought me my first camera when I was 14 years old. My biggest dream is to be a filmmaker, like a producer or director.
Benjamin has already shown his films at festivals around the world.
The first film that I did, which was a documentary short, was called Can I Call You? It's about me trying to go in a relationship with someone who's non-disabled. Can I call you?
Yes, exactly. Ben is indeed a remarkable young man who has been living with autism from birth. He's a 23-year-old living in New York with his parents. Ben is not alone. 1% of the world's population, over 70 million people, is living with autism.
Some would refuse to let autistic people go to regular schools, and parents fight about that. That's why it's important to see videos about their lives. Even though they're disabled, there's things that they can do.
Benjamin has just landed a job as an intern at New York City's mayor's office for people with disabilities. Ben and his supervisor, Jonathan Novick, produce films to highlight people with disabilities who work for the municipality.
Ben's a lot of things. Ben is positive. Ben is friendly. He brings this very high level of energy and enthusiasm into his work.
I work here as cameraman and editor. I travel with Jonathan Novick, and together we meet people with different disabilities, and I do the recording on camera while Jonathan Novick does the interview.
Randy Washington, who's working with Ben, helps keep him focused and on track. Watching films is one of Ben's favorite things in life, and Randy is really impressed with Ben's encyclopedic knowledge.
It's amazing the stuff he remembers from the movie. And he's hardworking. When given a task, wants to complete that task. I guess it would be he's a perfectionist.
Recently, Ben contacted the United Nations and was invited to visit the organization. Today, he's going to interview the Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon. Ben could have never imagined that one day he would have the opportunity to discuss with the UN Secretary General the pressing issues that affect billions of people worldwide.
Last December in Paris, the world leaders came and showed their commitment to keep global temperature rise below 2 degrees, if possible 1.5 degrees. Under this agreement, we can cut emissions.
Among the questions Ben asked, one was very close to his heart.
Why is autism an issue for the United Nations?
Some societies discriminate on or shun people with autism. This is a terrible violation of human rights. The United Nations stands with all people with autism.
Benjamin's resolve to work and produce films is an example to the millions of people with disabilities worldwide. He knows that anything is possible when you dream, and if you work hard, your dreams can come true. This report was produced by Michael Wopatniuk and Flaminia Bondi for the United Nations.